Welcome back. Let's have a quick look at the second presidential debate that took place a few days ago and see why Obama is so popular with folks.
Take a look.
Well, Senators, through this economic crisis, most of the people that I know have had a difficult time. And through this bailout package, I was wondering what it is that's going to actually help those people out.
One of the real catalysts, really the match that lit this fire, was Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So this rescue package means that we will stabilize markets. We will shore up these institutions, but it's not enough. That's why we're going to have to go out into the housing market, and we're going to have to buy up these bad loans, and we're going to have to stabilize home values. And that way Americans can, like Alan, can realize the American dream and stay in their home.
This is not the end of the process. This is the beginning of the process. And that's why it's going to be so important for us to work with homeowners to make sure that they can stay in their homes. The Secretary already has the power to do that in the rescue package, but it hasn't been exercised yet. And the next president has to make sure that the next Treasury Secretary is thinking about how to strengthen you as a home buyer, you as a homeowner, and not simply think about bailing out banks on Wall Street.
Heavy issues, huh?
I didn't understand any of it.
I can share some.
We have to watch it again. Yeah.
Can I just make a frivolous remark?
Okay,
yeah?
go. This is your first frivolous remark?
Yeah, I think I made some.
Okay.
It's amazing how come a guy so skinny has such a nice, deep baritone voice.
Yeah. Well, he's black, man. Yeah. So, he sings. I think he's got a good voice, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's very... Yeah, I don't know how to follow up on that because I think
it's a frivolous remark. You don't have to.
But
adding to that, I think I'm very, very scared by John McCain. I mean, he sort of like walks up to you like an old guy who's gonna. He looks like he's ready to hit you as well when he speaks. So.
Okay,
but you know that he cannot lift his arm above his head, right?
Yeah, he's got exactly.
Right.
So he looks awkward, but.
Yeah.
You know, like after I read that little tidbit of information, then when I saw pictures of him, I just wanted to catch him like with his hand like that. But okay, anyway.
Okay.
RazorTV went out to get the views of the man on the street to find out who they think should become the most powerful man in the world in a few weeks' time. Okay, so let's hear who they are rooting for.
Most of the voters will actually vote for McCain, but probably for myself is I would like the so-called the minorities to actually take vote.
Obama.
Why?
I think he represents change from the last 8 years, and I think he gives a very strong message that America is finally opening its minds. I think he's got an Asian root and an African root, and he's an American, so that really makes him extremely acceptable. It gives us comfort that the previous president had only been to China before he became a president. It shows that Americans finally realize there's world outside their borders and outside their continent. I think in terms of foreign policy, in terms of economic policy, he doesn't believe in zero taxes, for example. He doesn't think that he should deregulate his way out of trouble. He doesn't think that more government is necessarily good. So though he's a Democrat, he's trying to lessen government, which is again a very good sign compared to McCain, who's a Republican but still believes in big government. So I think that's a very strong message as well.
I think I'll go for the Obama because I think, never had a African American, running for presidency before, so it'll be a good change,
A good change. But is it necessarily for the better?
I think it's worth a try.
The economic situation currently, I think if it is back in the hands of the Democrats like how Clinton did it, I'm sure Obama will be able to do about the same or even a better job.
Younger is Obama, younger than McCain, right? That's only lah. But one thing, once he speaks to the people, to opponent, very nice lah. See? Yeah, yes, Obama, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, what about McCain? You think he's too old?
He's not too old, but he's too aggressive lah.
Obama.
Why?
I think the policies are good.
Why do you say that?
I have read the papers. McCain is more towards the policies of the present President Bush. Obama is more outspoken, and I think he will be a better president.
Obama.
What about McCain?
You already have Republican for 8 years. Maybe it's good for a change. The choice of choosing Sarah Palin is a bit like banging on speculating on a woman's vote.
If you guys are American citizens, would you vote for Obama or McCain?
I don't know, maybe McCain.
Oh my gosh, you're my first McCain supporter. Come on, tell me why. Why McCain? Why McCain?
Actually, we are coming from Tokyo in the historic area.
Why McCain? How will it benefit Tokyo?
The historical Republican is supporting strongly for the Japan and U.S. alliance. So that's why.
Wow, I think Celine did a very, very good job there. Chasing down all these people and I mean some of them really you can see their angles. At first they talking this way, and then suddenly they're this way. Then the next question they're this way already, So I think very good, very good job there. And looks like Singaporeans have they favor Obama.
Yeah,
not surprising, right?
Yeah. It's not surprising, especially if you have watched the debate, because I don't know if you guys caught it, but if you take away his youth, his charisma and everything, ultimately he did articulate a vision that talks about what needs to be addressed. I feel that McCain, on the other hand, was just refuting Obama all the time, but he did not offer concrete information.
One thing is that a lot of people are pointing out that Obama doesn't have the experience because he's so young. Whereas very hawkish McCain has had a lot of experience under his belt,
Well, he's too old, right? That's when you look at it, he's too old. That's what
he's
it
too
is.
old. Age is against him.
Yeah,
but Obama articulates a very good vision. Not to say that I give him all credit for being able to say something that touches the hearts of so many people. But if you actually look at McCain's career itself is an articulation of a particular vision of the world and of America. And I think that's very noble. There's something in McCain's career that speaks volumes, more so than what Obama says on the stage. And that's why which is why I think that McCain is such a strong candidate, actually.
But he's not able to offer the kind of change that Americans are looking for in times like this.
No, I don't believe that. Yeah. I don't believe for a moment that the U.S. presidents are all necessarily going to do what they say they're going to do in office. Clinton, as a candidate, famously said, "I will never talk to butchers from Beijing to Baghdad."
Yes, I know, and then he became
that was what he
friends.
said when he was running for the presidency. But what happened after that? We all know what happened after that.
Yeah. So do you think that it's probably all this whole brand management thing of the Obama brand? At the end of the day, when he does let's say if he does get into the White House, do you think he'll follow up on his promises and stuff, or do you think McCain has a higher chance of following up with his promises?
I think Obama will fall short of expectations. I think McCain has a good chance of bringing about real change because he could beat those expectations. On immigration, I expect McCain to do a lot more because now that if he were the president. So on keeping government small and keeping trade free and not to over-regulate, especially when in a time like this where there's pressure for the government to step in and regulate everything. So I think McCain will act as a good balance, especially now that the Democrats have both houses of Congress.
I think I sort of agree with you with what you said about Obama probably falling short if he gets elected into office. I think if you look sort of closer to home in Australia when Kevin Rudd was running for to be Prime Minister, he, pretty much like Obama, he was a younger candidate, and he spoke on issues that sort of that young people could connect with, the environment and stuff like that. But I think what's happened now is a lot of people are kind of disappointed with Kevin Rudd as Prime Minister as well. But I think that's what it is. I mean, with politics, to win a race, to win any sort of competition, anything? People would just say whatever they want to say. Yeah, exactly. The test will come when they're in office. But even having said all that, I sort of wonder how did Bush Jr. get like a second term?
Yeah. Okay, I think a lot of people also had a change of opinion when the vice president candidate was selected, Biden and Palin.
Like you, for instance.
Okay, before we get into that, we're going to take a look at a spoof of Biden and Palin. So check out what Saturday Night Live has done.
I come from a house full of school teachers. My grandma was. My dad, who's in the audience today, he's a school teacher, had been for many years. My brother, who I think is the best school teacher in the year. And there's a shout out to all those third graders at Gladyswood Elementary School. You get extra credit for watching this debate.
Governor Palin, would you like to respond to Senator Biden's comments about John McCain?
No, thank you. But I would like to talk about being an outsider. You see, while Senator Biden has been in Washington all these years, I've been with regular people, hockey moms and Joe Six-Packs. And I'd also like to give a shout out to the third graders of Gladys Woods Elementary who were so helpful to me in my debate prep. Also, too, you see, I think a little differently from an insider. I don't think it's patriotic to pay more taxes. I don't think it's patriotic to criticize these wars we got going on. I do think it's patriotic to tell the government, hey, get out of my way. Stop trying to impose on my right to shoot wolves from a helicopter. But a Washington insider like Joe Biden probably disagrees.
Yeah, you know, I get a little tired of being told I'm an insider. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And that's as hard scrabble a place as you're going to find. I'll show you around sometime and you'll see. It's a hellhole. An absolute jerkwater of a town. You couldn't stand to spend a weekend there. It's just an awful, awful, sad place. Filled with sad, desperate people with no ambition. Nobody, and I mean nobody, but me has ever come out of that place. It's a genetic cesspool. So don't be telling me that I'm part of the Washington elite because I come from the absolute worst place on earth. Scranton, Pennsylvania. And Wilmington, Delaware is not much better.
Okay, the Palin-Biden debate earlier this month garnered extreme interest as folks wanted to see if Palin was a worthy choice. So here's an excerpt of what both had to say about Texas.
No one making less than $250,000 under Barack Obama's plan will see one single penny of their tax raise, whether it's their capital gains tax, their income tax, investment tax, any tax. And 95% of the people in the United States of America making less than $150,000 will get a tax break. Now, that seems to me to be simple fairness. The economic engine of America is the middle class. It's the people listening to this broadcast. When you do well, America does well. Even the wealthy do well. This is not punitive. John wants to add $300 billion in new tax cuts per year for corporate America and the very wealthy, while giving virtually nothing to the middle class.
When you talk about Barack's plan to tax increase affecting only those making $250,000 a year or more, you're forgetting the millions of small businesses that are going to fit into that category. So they're going to be the ones paying higher taxes, thus resulting in fewer jobs being created and less productivity. Now, you said recently that higher taxes or asking for higher taxes or paying higher taxes is patriotic. In the middle class of America, which is where Todd and I have been, all of our lives, that's not patriotic. Patriotic is saying, government, you're not always the solution. In fact, too often you're the problem. So government, lessen the tax burden on the private sector and on our families and get out of the way and let the private sector and our families grow and thrive and prosper.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask Dylan to tell us a bit about Biden. Do you think it was a good choice?
I think on the if I don't talk about Biden, I talk about Sarah Palin. I think if Tina Fey had Sarah Palin's job, maybe she'd be less of a Sarah Palin would be less of an Achilles heel for John McCain. So I think even in that delivery, you could kind of see Palin sort of she's struggling, man. She is struggling, just like I am.
Okay, what? No, you're not. Hey, so are you going to defend Palin?
Let me just defend what she said just now. All right?
Okay.
That's not. You see, that is the problem with the Democrats. So they keep saying that we're going to cut the taxes for the small little guy, and we're going to tax richer guys and tax businesses. So what we economists, we know for sure that when the government cuts the tax for corporates, it passes on to the consumers and to the families in terms of lower costs. The tax has to be borne by somebody. Just because the tax is levied directly on the business doesn't mean that the consumers and the families are not sharing the pain.
Yeah.
So the Democrats simply do not see that. To them, there's a dichotomy between taxing families and taxing the businesses, which actually is a false dichotomy. So on that front, I think Sarah Palin is probably a little bit more accurate, that it is the small businesses that will need help. Cutting taxes for the individual may not do the trick.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, the thing is, you're looking at it on the
only on this
broad
specific
perspective,
issue,
you know.
the debate
so
point.
I'm a little, what bothers me about what she said are all the inaccuracies, because in the US, many small business owners actually pay taxes as individuals, not as corporations.
I understand that.
And based on a report, there'll only be about 600 over 1,000 people that would be affected by Obama's tax plan, but she's talking about millions of small businesses, so that's way out of the stratosphere. So that gets to me a little bit, I think.
I agree with you, but if McCain's indeed cut taxes but when McCain says that he's going to cut taxes for the American corporation, his viewpoint was that if you lower the taxes of the American corporation, they will be less likely to offshore the jobs and relocate the factories away from America and to the detriment of the interests of the workers. So from that point, McCain's logic is sound. So if you impose a tax on corporate America, somebody in America, either through job losses or through paying higher prices, will have to take the hit for the taxes.
Okay.
So on that, on purely the tax equation side, I think the Republicans have a sounder understanding than the Democrats, who tend to want to use this as a political tool.
Okay, I think we have a comment up on the web, and it says, like, simply put, Palin is dumb, McCain is arrogant. So I think people are just taking, like, at face value, like, the stuff, and it's a lot of brand management. So, okay, we're going to go for a short break.
Yeah.
You guys out there, let us know your thoughts, comments. See you in a bit.
Yeah.